Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension on the 21st of August 2025. So I did what I tend to do. I overwhelmed myself and it made me give up on some things, including my 2 covered beds. Yeah, I haven't been in there at all. I know, there's crops in there. Yeah, I know. Hey, but look what I did do well. My celery. Giant red celery. I mean, it got a little bit eaten, and now I think it's doing its thing. And I planted these late on purpose. But this is cube of butter squash, and actually there's 2 in there, and this is to keep the groundhog from eating them. I think I'm gonna have to find a different way. I think maybe I'm gonna need to remove the cage and put just a mesh over it. Yeah. There's actually 2 plants in there. Did I say that? Anyways, okay, so this. The biggest reason these 2 got given up on, look at my lemongrass, is because of this. Because both of them, I built these in 2020, and I think I put the tops on that fall. And as would be expected, because it's untreated wood, they are falling apart. You see I still have the plastic from the winter because I just haven't even. And this has fallen. Now I know that the critters, groundhog and rabbit, probably do get in here and eat. And I haven't really cared because I haven't cared. But I should have planted my fall garden like a month ago, at least a couple weeks ago. So there's my accountability and humility for ya. Lemongrass, American flag leek, Japanese Mitsuba parsley, lots of weeds. Homegrown worm castings. Check these babies out, they're beautiful. I picked out a bunch of worms and put them back in their bin yesterday before I brought them outside. I don't feel like making the effort to pick more of these guys out and putting them in my outdoor compost, which I've done absolutely nothing with but add stuff to this summer. Yeah, so we'll see what we can get to today. And then, because I have other stuff to do, imagine that. But yeah, awesome. Now, let's dive in. Okay, I'm not going to be able to record this whole process because I don't have the battery power for it. This was much more difficult to open than I expected because these plants wrapped themselves around the PVC, and this is some kind of brassica. Now, this will make great stuff for the new blue worm bin that I'm about to start. Now it is cool to see what has survived. What I'm gonna do here is this plant. I'm just gonna start. This is a kale of some kind. Some of these leaves I might, these guys will probably just all go. I really want to take them inside, but I also really don't want to take them inside. Like some of this stuff, like, no, you know what? I'll take a closer look at it inside, but alright. And so begins the to eat and not to eat. One reason I'm not going to feed it to my birds is just the overall nature of this being right up against the mesh and other birds, and I wasn't really overly worried about the whole bird flu thing until I spoke to my vet, and she said that she has heard of a case, knows personally of a case of a person who brought in a parrot, and the parrot later died from, after they did a necropsy, bird flu. So it is a genuine threat to pet birds. If they have, if you say have chickens outside, so you've got a potential, you know, cross-contamination, if you will. I'm not sure that's the proper description of that, but just, or if, you know, you take your birds outside, you just want to keep them away from anything to do with wild birds. But I haven't heard anything in recent days or months, for that matter, about any actual bird flu. So I'm not like super worried about it. Like, I do bring them outside, but it is just still something to be cognizant of. I mean, I've always been wary of anything that maybe has bird poop on it, because it's birds, you know. Like, if it's bird poop, then you should avoid contact with your birds. But you know, you do what you can, and that's all you can do. So anywho, so that's why I'm just a little bit, because I have seen bird poop on these mesh, like the birds land on it and poop. So when I see that, I say, oh, okay. So there's just a word on that. This actually might be a collard plant, come to think of it. I mean, clearly it's a brassica, but I think it's collards, actually. I don't think it's kale. Kind of looks like there's powdery mildew on there. Yeah, see, that's got a little bit of powder. This looks better. And two, if I'm gonna cook these greens, which a lot of times I don't, then I feel a lot better about whatever I'm eating being at all questionable. Because, you know, cooking is gonna cook that down. But if I'm like, no, I'm definitely gonna eat this raw or whatever. So most of this I'm discarding. I took my gloves off just in time to be like, you know what, put your gloves back on. Now it's cool that is black kale. It's a type of dinosaur kale, but it was definitely black something. And that looks like it's been doing just fine. I've harvested a little bit of it here and there. I haven't harvested for a long time out of here. I've just been looking at it and saying, you need to do something for fall. You should have done something for fall. Why haven't you done something yet? But yeah, that dinosaur kale looks fantastic. That is kale, I know. But I'm pretty sure everything I just picked is collards. Look at that. I mean, look at these amazing plants. Wow. And these are all its seeds. I'm just gonna, you know, we aren't even gonna try to save them. We kind of just did. Later, I'm gonna need to start a new pile. Throw it over there. Okay, so this was triple curl parsley that was a volunteer I had originally a couple years ago, grown triple curl parsley over there, and then it went to seed, and then last year, or this year, no, I think it was last year actually, this plant grew and survived. I meant to save the seeds, but still go ahead and pull up that collard stem. Some more seeds from somebody. That looks more like a kale. Had a lot of things growing in this bed. Including weeds. actually looks like my lemongrass has a little bit of powdery mildew. That's not cool. What do you guys do when lemongrass gets powdery mildew? So here is more of the flower heads. Oh. Doris the carnivorous needs to eat. I'm sure I'll find another one before I go. I've totally neglected my indoor plants. Almost totally. Mostly totally. Just not one. And last time I tried to feed her, like a month or so ago, she actually wouldn't eat. Meaning her traps wouldn't close when I put bugs in them. Alright, now let me go ahead and great for Canadian nightcrawler bin. Get some of this soil in there for them. I don't really like the looks of that grass though. So, shoot. I don't want to give them this whole plant. I guess if I really want to give them soil, I could just take a handful of soil, huh? Asian jumping worm. See the clitellum? Forms a band, a complete band. That's a great specimen to show that. There's no interruption of the clitellum from its top to its underside. It's shiny, not slimy. No colors on its tail. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Okay. Keep whipping my eyeballs with plants and dirt, soil. There's some onions right there. Right here. I always get myself into situations where I'm like, oh, I can't, I just want to go in and like totally wipe it out, clean it, you know, just grab everything. Then I start finding plants that I'm like, oh, I should let that go to seed. Oh, actually, I should let that continue to grow. And then it's not this, no longer this straightforward job. It becomes a second job. Okay. My phone is nearly dead, so I'm going to go plug it up, snatch up one of these creatures, roly-polies or something to give to Doris, and then I'll bring you guys back. Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I am your guide, Elpy, on the 24th of August, 2025. This is bed 2, and I'm doing something different this fall, because it's not fall yet. It will be in a month, but really I should have done this a month ago, and I'll tell you what it is. First of all, you may have seen that my previous video, I completely neglected this bed. I basically just forgot about it, like this one that I have yet to get into, and that's in part because I knew that the bed was rotting in the back. It lasted 6 seasons, this being the 6th season, so it lasted 5 seasons, but it really fell apart this year. And that has allowed the groundhog and rabbits actually can get in under there. So anyways, so I am just being overwhelmed with everything I've tried to take on. I just let the bed go. But so here's what we've got. I left this triple curled parsley, which is a volunteer from the plant that was growing in there 2023. Alright, I guess it's getting a little windy. I don't know if it's supposed to storm. This plant, it went to seed. I don't think any of the seeds really actually got in this bed. They were kind of hanging out here. But I'm gonna just leave that there and see what happens. We've got some red leaf sorrel. That one actually may die from being covered by all the other plants, and which is shocking to me because they grow like weeds. Japanese Mitsuba parsley, scarlet kale. These are a couple little onions, like pearl onions that, here's one. I think they are supposed to get bigger than that, but I'm going to leave them, see if they'll grow anymore. We've got stinging nettle. Actually, there's some of its cousins back there. Stinging nettle with aphids on it. This is either a kohlrabi or a collard. I think it's a kohlrabi. And there's some Swiss chard down there. I'll leave that there, but those might be. Let's go ahead and just take this caterpillar out of here just because we don't know if he's friend or foe. There were dandelions back there. I was going to pull them, but all right, looks like it's going to rain. Okay, here's my plan. Normally I do like rows, and I'll put like something here and there and section them off. And last year I did a little bit, actually, now that I think about it, of what I'm about to do. What I'm about to do is I'm about to broadcast a whole bunch of seeds just all over the place. Spring rapini broccoli rabe that I harvested in, I think it was July, may have been early August. Kohlrabi from the summer of 2023. Napa cabbage, arugula, Market Express turnips, French breakfast radish, red giant mustard greens, and down here are seeds from my Vates, collards, volunteers, seemingly perennial in the back. It really is about to rain. That sucks. I mean, it's great, but it's not great timing. And then I'm going to cover them with castings. So, I don't have as many of these, although I do have. I'm really just gonna. Oops, that's a lot. Oh, and I took the seed pods. I don't know if they're doing it, if they're any good from the plants that went to seed, and sprinkled them around, so we'll probably have some seedlings from that. We aren't going to put everybody in there because it's raining on us. Let's get some of these kohlrabi seeds. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. Oh yeah, the birds. Right, they aren't used to the rain. Okay. Trying not to really like section them off, but since that's kind of way back there. Napa cabbage. I'm sure the birds are going crazy because they're like, what is going on? Why are we getting a shower? Okay, so I used all of those. Those are old seeds from 2020 anyways. I do want to use up these arugula. They're old too. So, there's not that many in there. Oh, there really isn't. I didn't water it. Nope. Alright, I think the rain stopped. You guys are tripping out a little bit. Barely sprinkling now. Not very many of these Market Express from 2022. We'll just, okay. The packet's got a little bit wet. Hanging out in there. Alright. Now these French breakfast seeds are brand new actually. I should have checked to see if. Just got these from the MI Gardener sale. I'll put a couple of these closer since they're going to be short. Opie, why are you doing so many? Right. These mustard, red mustard. Quite a few in here. Let's go ahead and put a bunch back there. And I already kind of have a lot of stuff over here. But the point is also to see who does well. 2021 are these red. I kind of put a whole bunch right there in the middle, huh? And now I'm just gonna kind of throw these guys all over the place. And you know what? If I get a whole ton of seedlings that come up, then we'll harvest for whatchamacallit. What are they called? Microgreens. All right. As I said, that sprinkling stopped. So I'm actually going to put a thick layer of my homegrown worm castings. I might even just go ahead and use all of them, because this is an experiment. And I have more castings already harvested, and I have more castings that I need to harvest. Yep, there are a lot of worms in this bucket. Really, I do hope the rain comes back when we come inside. But I'm glad it stopped, because then I can finish this task and then take those guys inside. Because they were like, dude, this is not cool. Okay. It's not as thick of a layer as I had hoped. I was really hoping to basically cover all the seeds. And I technically could, if I wanted to use all the castings I've recently harvested. Well, yeah, I more recently, in the last month. These castings I harvested a while ago. And it's still kind of raining a little bit. It'll be okay. I've taken them outside before in the rain, and they weren't fond of it, so no point in forcing it on them. If I had, I'd love to have an outdoor aviary one day. And if I did, then, you know, I'd provide them some cover, but also allow for them to go out in the rain if they wanted to. And I'm sure with exposure, they'd get over it. It's just, you know, when you're supposed to be, but aren't a wild critter, you know, water falling from the sky, and it's not your parent hosing you down or putting you in the showers, is a little weird to them. All right. Now I'm gonna have to check the radar and see what's going on with this rain, because if it's gonna rain good, then hello, then I'll let all this be and let God water it. But if it's just gonna keep sprinkling like this, then that's no good for me, because I need to water in these castings, and I need to just water in those seeds. I am gonna get some more castings. All right, I got enough castings. Now the sun is out to experiment with. And my understanding is that castings, worm castings aren't exactly nutrient dense, they aren't exactly nutritious, but they are packed full of beneficial microbes and bacteria, and that's what makes them awesome. And seeing as I'm a worm farmer and I have 6 large buckets now, that's right, if you haven't seen my new video, I upgraded the blue worms, and I need to do some harvesting. Normally I use my worm castings more than I have been. So my point is all to say that I can experiment and I can use all these castings and not be like, oh, hopefully that's not a waste of money. No, because they are my own worms. So this soil is very, I'm gonna say, safe to say, in need of such a boost. And really I should be giving it some 511 and the stinging nettle tea that I have, because the amount of weeds, the amount of plants that were growing in here and just never fed or done anything with was tremendous. So this is a nice boost for the soil, even as this isn't gonna give it all that it needs. It's doing some good for it all the same. And we're also covering up our seeds, hopefully. Again, this is an experiment. I did it a little bit last year with collards and kale and some other plants. I was actually kind of disappointed in the results. But this year I went even more ham with it. And I know some of the seeds are really old, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out. Because I think, for the most part, it's going to be pretty good. So we almost used up a gallon and a half, probably, almost 2 gallons of worm castings on this one bed. That's a lot, but like I said, I'm willing to engage in this experiment for the sake of science in the theElpyDimension. Now hopefully critters don't come in here tonight and disturb the soil. I might want to make a conscious effort to do something to keep them from climbing in here. All right, I think we're good. If I want to make worm tea, like I said, I still have I have a bed that needs to be harvested, so I actually still have quite a few castings. All right, I think we got a pretty good layer down over everything. And maybe I'll pick the rest of these worms out and put them in the outdoor compost. I did pick some of them out and put them back in their bin, but Yeah, I think we're good. I know my seeds weren't broadcast as well as I would like to have. Like to be able to say they were, but I think there will be enough to do what I'm trying to do. All right. Cool, we got a real nice layer for the most part. And there we have it. Hashtag Seed Show and Tell 2025. Tag me using the tag hashtag at theElpyDimension whenever you save seeds or drop seeds, and use the hashtag 2025. Hashtag Seed Show N, the letter N, Show and Tell 2025. So, okay, yep, I think we're good. Maybe put a little bit more here where we dropped all those seed pods. But yeah, alright, so I use those 2 buckets. Hope I don't regret it. I don't think I will, but... Alright, thank you so much for your time and your interest. Yeah, as always. Be safe, be well. Bye for now.